Pick the wrong Puglia town and you'll trade bureaucracy for boredom or tourist chaos for isolation. I'm Roberto. After digging through real expat stories, local secrets, and tourist traps, here's the unfiltered truth. Here is the map for this lesson. First, we will talk about tourist, expat local. Then, we will move to expats pick Monopoli for kids. After that, we will cover tourist dream. After that, we will cover city life. After that, we will cover summer party. After that, we will cover but car needed. Finally, we will close with don't guess. Here's the problem with most relocation advice. A tourist sees Puglia for a week in July. An expat lives it. Here's the problem with most relocation advice. You watch a travel vlog, see stunning beaches, cheap wine, and think I'm moving there. But a tourist sees Puglia for a week in July. A local has been dealing with the bureaucracy their whole life. And an expat, they've made the leap and discovered the things nobody posts on Instagram. Take Gallipoli. Tourists rave about the nightlife, the sandy beaches, the historic center on its own island. But one expat who lived there for 3 years told a Facebook group it was extremely difficult. Too many tourists. Young people drinking everywhere, not a place to raise kids. A local would add that in winter, half the town shuts down. So the same town is either paradise or nightmare, depending on who you ask. That's why I'm not giving you a generic list. I've spent weeks reading expat forums, local Facebook groups, and cross-checking with travel guides. I'm going to show you 4 key towns and 1 wildcard region through the eyes of all 3, the tourist, the local, and the expat who actually lives there. By the end, you'll know exactly which place matches your priorities, not someone else's highlight reel. If you're moving with a family, Monopoli keeps coming up, but not for the reasons tourists love it. If you're moving with a family, Monopoli keeps coming up, not from tourists. They love it too, but for different reasons. The travel blogs mention the pretty harbor, the castle, the sandy beaches south of town. But what locals and expats tell you is what really matters. One expat mom who lived in Bari for 9 years said Bari just wasn't family friendly. She moved to Monopoli and called it perfect for families. The public schools, solid academically, but she warned that kids socialize more through extracurriculars, soccer school, dance school, so you need to budget time and money for that. Another expat said she wished she'd known about Monopoli schools sooner. The town is on the main train line, so you can reach Bari, Lecce, even Rome without a car, and it's close to the Val d'Etria for weekend exploring. But here's the catch: Monopoli and nearby Polignano, a mare, have become expensive. Property prices have shot up because everyone wants a B&B there. One local interpreter said prices in Monopoli are now like Ostuni or the Val d'Etria, not the affordable south it used to be. So if you want that family-friendly coast, you'll pay for it. Still, for many expats, the trade-off is worth it. Community, schools, transport, and that Adriatic lifestyle. Ostuni is the poster child of Puglia, but talk to a local about taxis and the Instagram filter cracks. Ostuni is the poster child of Puglia, the white city on the hill, Instagram famous, with a tourist season that now stretches from April to October. Travel guides love it. Investors love it more. According to one property agency, Renovated villas here can pull in 3,000 to 6,000 per week in summer, with annual yields up to 13%. So if your plan is to buy, rent out, and maybe live there part-time, Ostuni looks like a no-brainer. But talk to locals and expats, and the picture shifts. One local who helps expats in a nearby town warned the more popular the town, the higher your taxes. In some cases, you can hit a 43% tax rate. She recommended looking at smaller towns with the 7% flat tax scheme for new residents. That's a massive difference if you're on a fixed income. Also, Ostuni's historic center is stunning, but in August it's packed. And outside the walls, you'll need a car because public transport is thin. So Ostuni is brilliant if you're an investor with a high tolerance for summer crowds and Italian tax complexity. If you want a quiet, affordable year-round life, maybe not. One expat put it bluntly, truthfully, "I'm not sure we would have chosen this life if we'd realized all the stress." That wasn't about Ostuni specifically, but it's a reminder that the postcard doesn't show the paperwork. If you want city energy and Baroque beauty, Lecce delivers, but you'll trade the beach for a 30-minute drive. If you're not chasing the beach every day and you want a real city, Lecce is your answer. It's often called the Florence of the South because of its Baroque architecture. Expats who live there love the energy, students, a growing remote work scene, and a historic center that's alive year-round, not just in summer. One expat guide said Lecce and Brindisi are the two best cities for expats, with Lecce offering more cultural punch. But here's the trade-off. Lecce is inland. The nearest decent beach is about a 30-minute drive. So if you dreamed of rolling out of bed onto sand, this isn't it. Also, while the city is walkable, you'll still want a car to explore Salento properly. And driving in Puglia. One expat described it as rules are more suggestions than law. You'll need nerves of steel and eventually an Italian driver's license after your first year. The theory test is in Italian, so factor that in. Lecce suits someone who wants a vibrant, year-round community, great food, and doesn't mind a short drive for the sea. It's also a good base if you're working remotely and need a reliable internet and social opportunities. Tourists flock here for the architecture, expats stay for the lifestyle. Locals will tell you it's the real Salento capital, not just a holiday spot. If this video helped you, open Memonique app and turn your own notes, PDFs, links, and research into study maps, summaries, flashcards, quizzes, and exam practice. You can start with your OpenRotor API key, keep control of the models you use, and upgrade when you want the full Memonique or workflow. Subscribe to Techie Talk AI, click the link, and try Memonique today. Gallipoli is a summer party paradise, but ask an expat who lived there year-round, and you'll hear a very Gallipoli is famous for a reason. The old town on its own island, the sandy beaches, the summer nightlife that rivals Ibiza on a budget. Tourists absolutely love it. Travel blogs mention the boat tours, the aquapark for kids, the fresh seafood. On the surface, it's a dream. But remember that expat who lived there 3 years. He said it was extremely difficult. The number of tourists is ridiculous and young people drinking everywhere. For families, it's a hard no. Even in the off-season, the town can feel empty. Many businesses shut down from November to March. So if you're looking for a year-round community, Gallipoli might leave you isolated. That said, If you're young, single, and want a social summer with the option to travel or hibernate in winter, it could work. Some expats do love the energy, but you need to go in with eyes open. Gallipoli is a tale of two cities. July is a party, January is a ghost town. Locals who live there year round have a different rhythm entirely, and breaking into that circle takes time. So ask yourself, are you moving for a permanent holiday vibe or for a real life? Gallipoli tests that question hard. If the big names feel too touristy or expensive, there's a whole other Puglia where locals actually live. And if the big names feel too touristy or expensive, there's a whole other Puglia. Locals and long-term expats keep pointing to smaller towns that offer authentic Italian life at half the price. Mola di Bari is a perfect example. It's on the sea, has great fish restaurants, a train station right in town, and property prices way below Monopoli. One expat who bought there said his close second was Monopoli, but Mola gave him the same coastal lifestyle without the premium. Another local interpreter recommended the northern Salento area, towns like Nard, Calatina, Copertino, beautiful beaches, closer to Brindisi airport, and prices still reasonable. Then there's Motola, where one expat helper mentioned the 7% flat tax scheme for new residents, a huge saving if you qualify. The catch: these towns are less English friendly. You'll need Italian, or at least a willingness to learn fast, and a car is non-negotiable. Public transport is sparse. But if you're after real community, lower costs, and that slow Puglian rhythm without the tourist crowds, this is where locals actually live and where savvy expats are starting to look. Before you book that one-way ticket, every expat I came across said the same thing: test before you commit. Alright, you've heard the town breakdowns. Now, how do you actually decide without making an expensive mistake? Every expat I came across said the same thing: test before you commit. First, stay for at least a month in your top choice, ideally in the off-season. A town in November is not the same as August. Second, check the train station location. One expat advised, make sure it's in town, not a mile outside. You'll thank yourself later. Third, download Idealista. It's like Zillow for Italy to get real price data. Fourth, start learning Italian now. Not just Ashao and Grazy, but enough to handle a conversation about a lease or a plumber. The bureaucracy here is legendary. One local said you need to be very patient. If you're a chill person, you'll be fine. If you're not, factor that in. Finally, talk to people who already live there. Facebook groups like Expat Support in Puglia are goldmines. The advice in this video, a lot of it came straight from those conversations. So don't just watch, go ask your own questions. The best town for you is the one that matches your real life, not your holiday fantasy. Here is how the full lesson connects back together. We started with tourist, T-expat, T-local. Then we covered expats pick Monopoly for kids. After that, we covered tourist dream. After that, we covered city life. After that, we covered summer party. After that, we covered but car needed. Finally, we closed with don't guess. If you're planning a move, I use Mnemonic to organize all my research and notes, link in description. And tell me in the comments, which town are you leaning towards? I read every reply. Subscribe to Techie Talk AI and try Mnemonic, free at Mnemonic app. Made with Mnemonic.